And Alex Fast is like, I'm not a player. Yeah, but you break down pitching as well as anyone, dude. Good to see you in person from a distance. I'll high five you after we get through this. But how you doing, dude? You enjoying everything?
Yeah, man, it's been great. You know, it's so great to follow Tony Clark, right? You look at me and you think, yeah, that guy's real important, right? Alex Fast, we got to get him on right after Tony Clark. You know, that's the deal. I'm having a great time, man. It's been a super fun environment so far. I love that everything's in walking distance, which is great. And the atmosphere last night was unbelievable. I think we could, I don't know your guys' opinion on it, I think we can kind of agree that Adley might have stolen the show a little bit.
Adley or Julio?
Adley. I mean, Julio, like, listen,
said.
he had the advantage, right? Home field guy, the Julio chants were absolutely electric. Hearing that kind of reaction to a player that is from a team that's 3,500 miles away was pretty impressive to me. To see him switch sides like that and then knock out 7 of 8 home runs, being in that atmosphere for that was pretty impressive.
And I have to provide the disclaimer because I see all of his tweets. Your team?
Gotta be. But even if I remove the bias, yes, I am a Baltimore Orioles fan, but even if I remove the bias, if I think of like some of the best home run derby performances the past couple of years that weren't necessarily winners, Vlad in Cleveland when he went with that swing off against Jock,
Yep.
right? Giancarlo Stanton down in Miami when he was going up against Judge. Even, you remember who Judge beat in the first round in Miami? Who was the Miami, I think he was the Miami representative along with Stanton.
Giancarlo?
Bohr.
Yeah, the Borbino. We just saw that.
We talked about
this. Yeah.
Bohr was unbelievable.
The Borbino was
He had
waffling balls.
He had so much power, and it's just these first-round losses that we completely forget about because either bigger names or whatsoever. But Adley, I don't know, man. I also think, new rule, switch sides, double the home runs. Make it count for 2 because that's unbelievable, man. Why not?
We've been dancing around like all these different ideas for the Derby to make it even cooler, to up it a notch now. Because we were shitting on it earlier where it's gotten into too much of a speed contest. We all agree to an extent. And it's hard to follow.
Yeah.
And it's becoming so much of, my pitcher's got to get me another pitch right away. We've been beating that down pretty good today where we're like, the next step is to find a happy medium.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of multifaceted, right? One, you want to make sure that the players are staying healthy. I imagine there's so much adrenaline that's like happening in that moment. You want to make sure like they're taking it a little bit easy. 2, from a narrative perspective, some of the feedback I saw from viewers is like, yeah, that's a little difficult to follow when I'm still trying to track 1 home run and there's another ball in the air. There was a lot of funny comments on Reddit where it was like if Chris Berman was still calling this derby, he wouldn't have stopped saying back for like 15 minutes because there were just balls in the air forever. He just went back. It was never ending, right?
I agree. We talked about this.
Yeah.
Even being there, you couldn't keep up. And we were there. We were right behind home plate. And a ball would go up, and then another ball would go up. And you're trying to look at the scoreboard, especially like in the tight ones, the ones that were close.
Yeah.
Well, how many does he have? And the Amsinger, the MC, was like, he's got 20. Oh, now he's got 24. And you're like, wait, how did he go from 20 to, and the scoreboard was like a slot machine. It was like, ching, ching, ching.
Yeah.
And you're like, geez, how do they keep up with how many balls actually go out of the park? And on TV, I can't even imagine what a nightmare, because even if you split the screen, you'd have to split it like 3 times. If they hit the high one, then there'd be another one. And it was like, man, you'd have to have ball 1, ball 2, ball 3. It's like, there's got to be a better way to do it. We don't know what it is, but there's got to be a better way to
You might be able to find a happy medium where you do 3 minutes and 60 balls, right? So like you say, all right, you're going to get 60 no matter what, which is different from the 10 balls, 10 outs overall. So let's say you get 60, you're still going to be able to pace it. You're going to be able to pace your time out a little bit more. You're going to have plenty of opportunities, and it makes those last 10 balls really exciting because you could theoretically not have enough opportunities. That might be a good middle ground. But this
problem is, though, that puts the pitcher then becomes like so much bigger than what he is now. Because if you say, I mean, I like that idea, like say, okay, you either get 50 swings or 3 minutes, whichever comes first. But then you get a pitcher out there that's going, and they go Pete Alonso on him. They can't throw a strike.
He was nasty. Aaron Myers, his name's been said so many times on this show. He was nasty. You love pitching.
Yeah, of course.
You love pitching.
I think Pitching Ninja even made an overlay of some of the consistency of his pitches in the Derby.
Tunneling.
You should do an overlay on Julio Rodriguez's first round because everyone was like in the same spot.
You want to talk about good for the sport? I mean, you could feel those chants, right? When he was hitting 40, It's like, sure, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that obviously it's probably important to him. He wanted to win that Derby. But I've never felt a stadium rally around a person like that, man. That was unbelievable to experience in person.
Go ahead,
No,
Betsy.
just the Adley thing. I said the same thing. I said take Julio and the hometown bias. I guess you have hometown bias, but who has done something like that? To me, what Adley did last night was similar to what Josh Hamilton did in the sense that,
100%.
holy cow, do you see where he's hitting balls in Yankee Stadium and just blew away the competition? He didn't win, but he pushed switch hitters. If you're a switch hitter now, you're like, my son, he was switch hitting. He's 16. He's like, that's so awesome. Right-handed and left-handed.
Yeah. I mean, it was really when I truly try to remove the bias. Even coming in, Orioles fans were like, interesting choice. You got Anthony Santander. You might have been able to send a little more pop in the bat. I mean, even I think Ryan O'Hearn has more home runs than him or something like that.
Too many line drives.
Yeah. So to see that power display was really impressive and really good for the sport. And to have him switch like that, I mean, again, just hearing the crowd react to that, see that moment of recognition that everyone had of why are they moving the mound right now? Oh my, he's actually going to switch and do this. And I mean, even before lefty, he was launching balls to right field. The last thing I want to say, and maybe we can embrace this, someone brought this up yesterday, I thought it was a great point. What if they did a surprise player and it was just Ellie De La Cruz? Could you imagine if all of a sudden he just appears in the stadium last night and they've got one more contestant and he is I don't think anyone would have cared if they overrode the system and that man appeared. You would have, or you like that idea?
No. I'm fine with him being in the home run derby.
100%.
I've said that from the get-go.
I know.
Scott is on
We
this
just
whole
troll
thing
each
that
other.
he should be an all-star. He should start the all-star game.
And
he's
wait,
already
wait.
going to Cooperstown.
Someone way
I
smarter
mean,
than
he's already
me.
got this whole Ellie De La
wrote
Cruz.
about it and talked about it yesterday on our show, who's way smarter than me.
Who?
Ken hypothesized
Me.
about it.
No.
Oh, me.
Ken's smarter than
You're
you.
not smarter than Scott.
Who wins an IQ test out of AJ, Ken, and me? What's the ranking? Ken's easy one.
Third place.
You're
Ken,
third?
First.
What kind of IQ? Baseball IQ?
No, just general
Just
IQ.
general IQ.
Again.
I just can't believe you've had me on here this long and I haven't talked about pitchers. This is the longest I've ever talked
We
about
did. Aaron
hitters.
Myers.
No,
we
we're
talked
getting to
about
that. We're getting to that, and there are fan questions, and I'll say for everyone else in the live chat right now, we'll get some of them in.
Let's get back
Give
to
me a
Ellie
sec.
because Scott loves Ellie.
Sure.
Okay, we've had this fight, right? I'm all for it. Bring him into the home run derby. Let him be a part of the festivities. But he hasn't earned an all-star spot yet, right?
Sure.
Fine. But have him here. I'm all for it. Let him experience because he's going to be here next year. But unless something crazy happens, he's going to be here. He's going to be the starting shortstop, third baseman, whatever. He's going to be on the team next year, more than likely.
They should have gotten him here, though.
So I'm all for it. Yeah, they should have brought him here.
Yeah, but to the Derby, did you like my idea yesterday? So if you are a pre-arbitration player and you're making the league minimum, I'm giving you
They pay you.
$250,000 to come over here, right? Because the dudes that are already making millions, okay,
Sure.
and maybe that gets more young dudes like him, but because he said no. But can I offer you $250,000 for a player who really has made almost nothing so far? I think that might get him over here.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you have to think about there's multifaceted things. There's what the league could theoretically want, what the Players Association could theoretically want, and what's good for the sport and growing the game overall,
Yes.
right? And I think getting a guy like Ellie De La Cruz is a multifaceted win-win-win across all things. Yeah, doing that would mean he's getting paid for his time. He's getting exposure, right? That's one of the biggest things for him. I mean, getting those notifications about a guy stealing second, third, and home, that is, I can't even begin to describe how big that is, in my opinion, for the sport. I have people who do not watch this game, who live in Ohio, and maybe they're just diehard OSU fans or diehard Bengals fans, who say, man, I heard about this dude. Should I start following the Reds again? I'm like, yeah, man, this is the truth. Get into it. So any way that we can push that and make it worth their while, that's one of those rare, multifaceted wins. I'm all about it.
So Alex wanted smoke coming out of right field, and
Like a wrestler,
Dude,
like Royal Rumble.
secret
Royal Rumble entrance.
Dude, I literally want a hollowed out mound that rises up like a reveal in MLB The Show with smoke and who is the mystery
and
player.
he's spinning around in a circle, just like this. Dude, spinning him.
Pointing the bats and stuff. I'm all about it. I think fans would absolutely love that.
I agree.
Here I would have loved to see
That would have
Griffey.
been awesome.
I agree.
Cool.
I
I'd love
think
to
it'd be
see
great.
Griffey.
I think it would. Yeah, because every year people would be like, who's the mystery guy?
Who's the secret?
And so you have like the top seed. So the top seed was Robert, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's not to knock Adley because he was the 8 seed, but what I'm saying is
Sure.
instead of having Adley announced right before the matchup, out comes Adley Rushman. And they're like, oh, shit.
Just the blank figure, just the blank silhouette of the player, and you're
100%.
like, who could it be?
You could build up on it. Make it their City Connect reveal. Do it like that. Bam.
It'd be better than half the Team City Connect.
Well, and then the speculation, there'd be days of coverage of who's going to be the last dude. And for this, it would have been like, it has to be Ellie, right? And then you don't know, though.
Doesn't hurt.
And then I would even go one step further, like AJ would troll, like, bring up like Mustakis comes up, and you're like, what? And then it's like, nah, I'm just playing. It's Ellie.
It's Ryan O'Hearn. Let's go.
Hey, he's having a good year.
Hey, I love him.
Aaron Hicks.
I love him.
Ryan O'Hearn.
I love
All
him.
right, so before fan questions, and some of those involve pitching, obviously, I just want to get a little more Orioles perspective from you. So were you pissed off when they did next to nothing in the offseason? Now it's working for them now. And then layer 2 is, will you be pissed off if they don't gun it at the trade deadline and go for it as if they can win a World Series title this year? Because in my mind, they could if they add. But you have to add, in my mind, serious pitching, especially starting pitching, probably a 7th inning dude behind the big 2 boys. Your thoughts?
In Elias we trust, I'll say, right? Because last year I was, and you can check my receipts, I was okay dealing Mancini. I was okay dealing Jorge Lopez, and we got Yenyer Cano from that, and Cade Povich, who's been fantastic in the minors. So you have to understand that this organization is building something, and they want to build it for the long term, and I am all about that, and I believe in that. I said I would reserve judgment on this past year's free agency by what they do in next year's free agency. I don't necessarily mind not going for a lot of the guys that ended up going, because guys like Nathan Eovaldi had picks assigned to them, and the Orioles still very, very clearly value those picks.
But
right?
dude, they should have gotten Eovaldi.
Maybe. I mean, I think Eovaldi's having a fantastic year, but now he's dealing with these velocity issues, and we're still the second best team or third best team in baseball by record. So sure, maybe we could have been the best, but right now we're not necessarily hurting, and we still have a top 2 farm system in baseball. Next year's starting pitcher free agency market is unbelievable, right? I mean, you have Scherzer, you have Lucas Giolito, you have Julio Urias, Yu Darvish signed that extension.
Stroman.
You have Stroman. You have plenty of other guys that I'm absolutely forgetting, right? I will
Shohei.
Shohei, don't necessarily. I still think he's going to be a Dodger, but it's nice to dream. It's nice to dream.
Shohei for Jackson Holiday.
That's my.
Do you do it? Do you do it right now?
Is he stay with us forever?
No, just for the year.
No, not for a half-year rental.
Wow.
Not
What
for
if it wins you a World Series?
If it wins me a World Series, I would give them my daughter. No.
Wow, man.
No, if it gives
If
them
it wins you a World
if
Series,
it gives
I
me
love
a
you,
World
Daddy.
Series, yeah,
Sorry.
100%.
it's not even a question.
100%. I already have my tattoo planned. I already have my tattoo planned for the World Series, okay?
Where
if
at?
it gives me a World Series, without question, flags fly forever, have fun in L.A., thank you for Shohei Ohtani. But let's be realistic. That's not happening. Shohei Ohtani's probably not going to get dealt, right? He's probably not
Jackson
going to
Holiday,
Yeah.
he would.
I still don't think he would. I genuinely do not
Jackson
think
Holiday and Grayson Rodriguez.
Artie Moreno doesn't know who they are. And he makes all the
Perry
many of the
Benazian does.
decisions. I know he does. But if he presents that to him, he's like, I think Artie says, nah, fuck that.
I wonder if we see an underwhelming.
Artie's not here.
If we see an
Alex.
underwhelming acquisition from the O's, it wouldn't surprise me. If Jordan Montgomery was healthy, I would have been like, that sounds like a prime Orioles candidate, right? Lucas Giolito would be very interesting because it's the final year of his contract. Obviously, they're probably not going to be super competitive down the stretch. Don't think they're going to get rid of Cease. They even said yesterday, of the guys available, they blocked some guys off. Giolito's available. He could theoretically end up there.
There was 4 for the White Sox. There were Cease, Vaughn, Robert,
and one more. I don't think it was Jimenez, was it?
No. Cease.
Burger.
No, it wasn't Burger.
Crushing power
He
numbers.
loves Burger.
And his power output's been great.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know. There was 4 I thought they came out
Yeah,
and
but
said there's 4 that are
Luckily,
untouchable.
Giolito wasn't one of them, so you got to figure he's on a different team. Stroman's on a different team. I wouldn't mind a move like that, but again, I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, Aaron Nola is the last big free agent, right? Aaron Nola is the guy that, even though it's an off year because he seems to have this every other year curse to him, that guy needs to be in black and orange next year.
Boom.
I want him signed up for a long time in Baltimore.
All right, last
You're
one.
like Scott, though. It's easy to spend someone else's money.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's easy to
100%.
spend someone else's money when you're the Orioles ownership. You're owning a billions of dollars asset and you don't spend
He
any
needs
money.
help. He needs help.
To be
He
fair,
needs-
I've
He's
given
like
thousands
AJ
of dollars
help
of my
spending
money.
it.
Right, you've given plenty. You have partial ownership. You should. Okay, so the questions, and we're tight on time because we're way past when we were supposed to be on, and we actually literally have to go to Emerald Queen Casino and do our watch along. But from New Country Songs, who's one of our diehards, which pitchers are outperforming their X numbers, your favorites to watch, second half standouts. Give me your big picture pitching perspective heading into the second half.
We've already seen some regression from some of the bigger guys that we kind of anticipated, right? I want to give a shout out to George Kirby. I know he ended up in the All-Star game, but the fact that he was not like a first ballot All-Star dude with the command that he showed was absolutely unbelievable to me. So I think he deserves a huge shout out. This is a guy who is doing something very unique, not just in the command that he has. He is sub 10th percentile in called strike rate on four-seamers, right? 99th percentile in called strike rate on sliders. Find me another pitcher who operates like that, right? Who is attacking with first or second pitch sliders and getting called strikes and saving his four-seamer for the end of at-bats to either elevate. Like, I just think the way that he pitches is a real pitcher's pitch kind of guy, and I absolutely love that.
You loved him before. First time you were on, you were talking all about George Kirby.
Yeah.
I have it in my notes. I remember writing it down.
Well, he's an all-star, baby.
He is an all-star.
Check his receipts.
Check my receipts. Tyler Wells, too, not another all-star. The ride on that four-seamer, right? He has the second highest release point behind Felix Bautista. He's got an elite vertical approach angle. He just gets insane ride on that pitch. This isn't a guy who's just going to completely crumble. Doesn't get enough love. Not in the All-Star game. Leads baseball in whip. That is very difficult to do in today's game, and he is not an all-star. The way that his four-seamer works is fantastic. I love the way it pairs off his other pitches. So for me, those are two guys I'm obsessed with at the
Well,
moment.
Tyler has two teammates at the back end of the bullpen that embarrass everyone, and that's why they're there, and they're like, all right, we can't bring all these dudes. But, hey, great to see you,
Hold
dude,
on,
in
before you
person.
go, talk about the Orioles for a second. What do you think they do?
Dude,
That's
we
a
got to
good
go
one.
to Vegas.
Just
I mean,
real quick,
to
I got a comment for him.
I think they make
Basically
a
the
quick
same
move
thing.
with some of their depth for a lower tier ace. Maybe I don't want to say Lucas Giolito is lower tier, but not a Max Scherzer, right? And then I think they go heavy on the free agent market next year.
Okay, because you said we before. We are going to make these moves.
Yes.
We.
Well, he's
We
a
rip
fan.
off my
This is-
shirt,
he's not
Orioles
athletic
ownership right
journalist
here.
or something.
No, but he's not playing for the Orioles, so it's saying we.
Fans aren't allowed to say we?
We'll get into it another
Okay.
time.
Don't worry, we're on every day, folks. Alex, great to see you in
Thanks for
person,
having
dude.
me.
Thanks for swinging by.